Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to everybody. Welcome to Friday. Friday. Cheers. Cheers wherever you are in the world, and welcome to Friday. Putin commands it. Take a sip. Welcome to Tea with a Hacker. Welcome to our Friday morning dose of chill AMA awesomeness. I am rocking our lovely Putin mug today with some nice peppermint tea going on. That's a little post-run action this morning. Getting in that healthy hacker, trying to get back into that routine of some healthy hacker stuff. I gotta say, my body is killing me. Not as much as I think it did when I first started Healthy Hackers, but I do have to say that, like, when you take a week off of hardcore working out, hardcore dieting, you drink a lot of wine with family, you eat some nice big fat, carb intake, calorie, concentrating type of stuff. Yeah, it's a little hard to get back into those 3.5 mile runs. So happy Friday. We made it for the first week back of the holidays. Good stuff right there. Good stuff. All right, awesome. Welcome. My name is Neil Bridges, and thank you for joining me today. I'd love to welcome all of our new joiners as well as our regular visitors. Real conversations with real people, that is direct from one of our guests. This is our short format AMA stream, and I want to get to as many as your questions as humanly possible. So we are going to run through our intros super quick, and we're only going to hit the high spots, right? We do have moderators in chat. I want to personally thank each and every single one of my moderators, each and every stream, for their dedication. Mad respect goes out to the moderators. Make sure you put your hype hands up in chat for the moderators. They are here voluntarily, and they do make sure to keep chat free of sexist, racist, misogynistic, elitist, and otherwise toxic behavior. We have a zero tolerance for toxicity here on this stream, and so we don't tolerate it. Now it's a fantastic time to remind you to hit that exclamation point Discord and hop on over to Discord. That way, if you are put on a timeout or a ban for something from one of our moderators, you can get in touch with our moderators in Discord. You will also need to be in Discord to participate in the giveaway. So now's a fantastic time to remind you to be over in Discord. They are not here, however, to stifle chat at all. Not here to stifle chat at all. As a matter of fact, moderators are here to make sure that your voices get heard. With that being said, as I mentioned, this is our AMA. AMA, if you're not familiar with that format, stands for Ask Me Anything. Anything. Now, let's define what anything is, because I know that there are so many people who wonder what anything means. Ask me something about cybersecurity. Ask me something about healthy hackers. Ask me something about my diet. Ask me something about my golf game, right? Ask me something about NFTs. Right? You can ask me something about INE if you want. However, what I do want to remind you is that this is not an official INE outlet by any stretch of the imagination. I am Chief Content Officer of INE. I do make myself available to answer any and all questions about INE. However, you should not consider anything that I say to be official INE answers. You should always refer directly to INE official media channels for anything INE related, or support items as well. But you simply pick up that keyboard, you drop your question into chat. We have moderators who grab said questions, and we do put them into a big, huge, giant queue. And we do try to make sure that we get as many questions answered on stream together. However, we only have one rule. We ask that you only post the question once, just once. Posting it more than once may be considered spamming and may result in a timeout or a ban. If you can go back and look at other streams, you can see how we do questions on the stream. You can see that we do have a huge giant queue of questions, and we do try to pick and choose as many of them as possible so that we can absolutely try to get through them as quickly as possible. This is our Friday resupply, and so I want to thank Josh Mason, the Cyber Supply Drop, for for giving us our giveaways for Friday. Do hit those exclamation point partners. We have several partners that do support this stream, and they do support this stream by providing free education, discounts, and other prizes for you on a regular basis. Case in point, if you're curious about Sims, you see Splunk back here and you're curious about Sims, Elastic is one of our partners. They do offer you 30 days free access to their cloud-based sim so that you can practice sim, KQL, other types of security type of stuff with their online cloud-based sim. We have other training, Attack IQ. Attack IQ provides free purple teaming training as well. We have some Carbon Black training that is in there as well. Bottom line is, hit that exclamation point partners. Listen, partners provide prizes and discounts for you. Okay? And so you don't have to do anything. You don't have to buy anything from them. Don't have to do anything. They provide them for you. My ask is that you at least go and you acknowledge them out there on the social media. That does help them, help their brand. And all they're doing is they're giving you training in return for you acknowledging that they gave you some free training. That's all it takes, right? All right. I think that's it for the short format for today. Let's roll through some questions. Let's see what we got here. Josh Mason trying to roll through with the sneaky question on this one. What's with the beta labs on PTS? What's with the beta labs on PTS? Anybody who Actually, everybody should be. If you're hearing my voice, everybody should be on Starter Pass right now, at least. Should have access to the INE system. If not, right now, you need to go sign up for it. I don't know how to say this. I don't know how else to say this. If you go on to Starter Pass right now, if you go look at PTS, if you're familiar, if you've taken PTS in the past, you'll see all the labs and you're used to the traditional lab format. If you actually go look, you'll start to see like you'll see an HTTP, or you'll see a traffic sniffing lab, which is the traditional, what you would typically see for the PTS traditional traffic sniffing lab. And then right underneath it, you'll see a remastered lab. We started to convert over the PTS labs over to the new PTA, Pentester Academy infrastructure from our acquisition, as promised. Promises made, promises kept. And so what I would definitely encourage everyone to do, whether you're a current PTS student, a former PTS student, a future PTS student, is to head on over to INE and compare the differences between the old lab infrastructure and the new lab infrastructure, and be amazed at how much faster the labs are now compared to what they were before. We are super excited for this new lab infrastructure. It is definitely a peek behind the way things are moving in the future. Thanks, Josh, for the INE plant. But I would definitely encourage anybody who is interested in seeing, and then again, use your lovely, wonderful hacker imaginations and imagine all that awesome stuff that's going into PTS. Imagine it in cloud, imagine it in networking, imagine it in development and DevOps and DevSecOps, and it's going to be freaking awesome. Super stoked for it. Super stoked for it. No root still. I talked to my contact yesterday on at root, however that goes. They said I should be getting my shipment next Wednesday, which is good because like I'm starting to have some serious withdrawals from the @root. No withdrawals. More like just God, I miss that stuff. So @root has replaced my energy drink of choice, right? For those who don't know, you should definitely like at least give it a try. And the reason is because like I used to do Monsters when I was in the military. I used to drink Monsters like crazy. Carmen introduced me to Red Bulls, and I never like I didn't really like Red Bulls, but they definitely did the job. And then @root came along, and if you've known, like if you pay attention, we've got the healthy hacker thing that's going on. You can see it in Discord. We've got the hashtag healthy hacker thing. Carmen is a health nut. Literally, my breakfast this morning was a protein shake that she concocted post-run. That's the reason why I've lost over 40 pounds. For those who don't know, I've lost over 40 pounds on our diet. And so when Root came along, she looked at the ingredients and she was like, "Oh yeah, gets my pass on the health kick perspective, but it doesn't give you any of the energy drink juices or anything like that." So definitely worth checking out. That includes everybody who won a couple months ago from the giveaway, and then they ran out right when we submitted in all of the winners. So those should be going through as well. What's your thoughts on the changes of the OSCP? Look, I think competition is good in general. Listen, I'm not here to say that I&E is the only training you should be taking, right? Because I think when you look across, and again, I tell this story frequently, right? When I started out in this industry, years and years and years ago, I don't want to say decades ago, because I don't want to believe that I'm that old, right? You had two choices, right? It was SANS and OffSec, right? And I've done my fair share of both of those, right? And so I think OffSec is finally realizing that they need to keep up with the competition, and I'm glad to see that they're making changes to OSCP. I'm glad to see that they're adding in blue team courses finally. I golf clap to OffSec. I hold no ill regard for what they're doing here. I love to see it. Listen, that doesn't change for me, right? That I don't believe in their culture. I don't actually like their exams. I still don't believe that their exams are a testament to real world pen testing. Again, remember, I spent decades doing real world pen testing. I've done 2 offensive security certs, right? I did it with pen testing with Backtrack and pen testing with Kali, right? And their certs aren't indicative of real world pen testing. Is this change going to push them in that direction? Maybe, maybe not. We'll see, right? But again, I think if you're seeing them change now, they're adopting the competition, which is good, right? It's something that we're going to do at I&E, right? If we see the market change, we're going to adopt to it. We're going into cloud, and we're investing more and more into cloud because we see the market going to cloud. I think competition is good. It doesn't change the fact that I personally, this is Neil Bridges' personal opinion, right? I don't like OffSec. I think it's a toxic organization. I think their culture is toxic. I don't think that their certifications match real world, pen testing skills, right? So yeah, that's how I feel about it. But otherwise, glad to see him. Improving the competition. So glad to see that. I think that's kind of what this was talking about, right? Thoughts on the new OSCP exam coming next month. Yeah. Again. I think you should take, listen, again, the statement that I always remind people of, right, is you should chase knowledge, not certs, right? And when I look at the knowledge that you gain from OSCP, you can get it cheaper, you can get it better from 101 other organizations out there, and you can get it, and so from that perspective, good job. Glad to see you're keeping up finally. You're still toxic, and I still wouldn't recommend you. But glad to see them making changes. Happy to see organizations grow, right? Happy to see organizations grow. Chitra says, hey, Neil. Happy Friday. Happy Friday to you too. 18 years old from India. Let's say someday I want to do something legendary like you. It's only legendary in my mind, but I appreciate you. 5,000 pen testing or doing something worthwhile. Then what would be my best I can do? Listen, the best that you can do, right, is you can get out there and you can put your hands on a keyboard, right? When I talk about put your hands on a keyboard, right, what I'm talking about is get out there and do your try hack me's. Get out there and do your hack the boxes. Get out there and participate and capture the flags. Get out there and sign up for HackerOne and BugCrowd and start doing bug bounties, right? If you're on the blue side, right, and you wanted to go do something legendary, go out there and, there's tons of great blue teaming content that's out there with BTLO, Security Blue Team, cyberdefenders.org, right? Like, to me, and Carmen and I were talking about this. Carmen and I were talking about this on the walk this morning, right, is you know, she's been in cybersecurity for about 10 years now, right? And she really had that kind of like, you know, reiteration moment this morning on our walk this morning, which was, you don't need certs, right? You don't need certs. What you need is you need to go out there and you just need to chase the knowledge. You need to chase learning. And so what I would hugely encourage, you know, people to do is to do that. And so like, if you want to do something legendary, follow your passion, follow your heart, chase the knowledge, and you'll do something awesome instinctively. Like there's no secret formula. Will Smith said it best. Will Smith said it best during an interview. He said there's no, real quick, just because I see it, don't spam chat or you're going to get banned, right? And chat is English only. Okay? Chat is English only. Will Smith said it best, right? There's not some crazy godlike behavior that only a select few of us are born with, right? There's nothing special that I was born with that you weren't born with, right? We're all uniquely awesome in this world. And so really what it's about doing is it's about finding that awesomeness inside of you, channeling that awesomeness and making something legendary out of it, right? I got fortunate that I found my awesomeness. You know, it took me, listen, and I say this, it took me years to find it. Right? Remember, you're talking to a guy who didn't go to college. I was, you know, number 350 of 355, you know, that graduated from my high school, right? I was literally the bottom of the class. Like I had a 1 point something GPA, right? I got denied college, right? The only reason I have any degrees that I have is because the Air Force basically said, oh, you showed up and you had a pulse, here's your degree, right? And so like everybody is born with awesome, but sometimes you just got to find that awesome inside of you. And so if you want to figure out like how to be that legendary, you just got to dig deep and you got to find out what it means to be awesome for yourself. And you got this. I believe in you. Devnell Zen, thank you so much. It's all about the hustle with the super chat. Hustle is important. Hustle is important. Hustle is important. Brian Godfrey says sooner or later some people get to a point where nothing makes sense. Have you been there? And if so, how did you get through it? There's a couple of different ways to interpret this question. If you're reaching a knowledge block, right? If you're reaching a part of your learning where you're crushing through stuff, you're trying to move through stuff, you can't get the blocks to work. There are things that I like to remind people of, right, when it comes to learning, right? It's either the instructor, it's either the teaching method, right? And when we talk about the teaching method, there are two different ways that we focus on teaching: cognitive and demonstrative. Right? So if it's too much cognitive and not enough demonstrative, or too much demonstrative and not enough cognitive based on your style of learning, that could be a factor in helping you get through it, right? It could also be some other things that just happen to be weighing on your mind at the same time. And so I think that, you know, I don't subscribe to the mentality that you're too old to learn anything, right? I don't subscribe to the teaching old dog new tricks, right? Like you look at, that's why like I did the video with David that says you're never too old to be in cybersecurity. I fully believe it, right? You're never too old to be in cybersecurity. You just have to find the way that you can consume what it is you're trying to learn the best way possible, right? So focus on the instructor, focus on cognitive versus demonstrative learning, and figure out what the balance is between the two of those that you need to be effective at learning that stuff. Lots of good questions this morning. I see lots of great questions coming through. Should I apply? Should I apply for a junior pen tester position even if I feel I'm lacking skills? Yes, 100%. Without a doubt. Without a doubt. You should never, listen to me, folks. Listen to me. Listen to me very closely. If you're looking at a job posting and you want that job, you should apply right then. There is no better time to apply than right there. Period. Dot. If you are listening to my voice right now and you want a junior pen tester role, I don't care what your experience is that you think you have. You should go today and you should look for junior pen testing jobs and you should start applying for them. 100%. Do not let your imposter syndrome tell you that you are not qualified for a role. Otherwise, you're going to be in a quagmire for years. Because if you wait, listen, this is exactly what imposter syndrome is. It is waiting until you feel that you're ready. Listen, the guy who owns Virgin Galactic, Virgin Atlantic, the airlines, Richard Branson, right? Sir Richard Branson. He has a famous quote that's out there, right? If somebody offers you a job that you don't know that you're ready for, say yes, and then figure out how to do the job, right? Some people refer to it as fake it till you make it. You call it whatever you want. You should, if somebody offers you the job, they believe in you. You have sold them that you are capable of doing the job. Follow on for that, right? Just I'm gonna pick on you real quick, Ty, right? But the technical interview may crush me. It may crush me. Hold on. Listen to the sound of that crushing sound. I don't hear 1,000 people wailing in pain because you failed a technical interview. You know what I hear? I hear learning occurring. I hear that you learned what you didn't know. But how are you going to know what you don't know if you don't go to the interview? How are you going to know? Listen, if I'm hiring for a junior pen tester and I need 5 skills, if I put 5 skills on that job posting and you interview and you only have 3, and I look at you and I go, I could teach that. That person has fire in their belly. You know, I actually don't really need these other 2. How are you ever going to know those things exist in an interview until you get to that interview and make an impression on people, right? You are stopping yourself. And this is my thing with people. This is my thing with people, right? People put their own boundaries. Listen, you who's trying to get into cybersecurity right now, you're putting your own roadblocks. When you talk about gatekeepers, I'm not here to say that there aren't gatekeepers in cybersecurity. There are 100%. Drop the soapboxes. It's happening. If you didn't know it already, this is a Neil soapbox right here. This is a Neil soapbox that we're doing it right here, right? There are gatekeepers in cybersecurity, but you want to know who the biggest gatekeeper in cybersecurity is? You, right now. With mentalities like this, where you're putting your own roadblocks. You're putting your own roadblocks up that are stopping you from getting a job in cybersecurity. You're comparing yourself to somebody else out there because they got OSCP, because they got 15 0 days, because they got 5,000 pen tests. You're putting your own roadblocks out there. And that's what's stopping you from getting your cybersecurity job. That's what's stopping all of you from getting your cybersecurity job is your own roadblocks. Stop. You want a job, go out and get it. Go out and put those applications in. Go out and get that hands-on. Go out and prove that you got writing skills. Go start up a blog. Go write an article on LinkedIn. Go do write-ups on Try Hack Me. Go do videos on YouTube. Go prove that you have the capability and stop roadblocking yourself. Okay? I'm passionate about this because I believe in each and every one of you. I believe in each and every one of you that every single one who hears my voice has the capability to be the best in this industry. All of you who hear my voice can be better than me, are probably better than me right now, and I am okay with it. Keep going. Keep pushing. Keep being awesome. But don't let yourself stop you from being awesome. Love every single one of you, and I want to see every single one of you be awesome. Putin commands it. Stepping back down. Stepping back down. Web application security checklist. Can you give it? I couldn't give a better example of this than go to OWASP. OWASP has got you. Look, go to OWASP top 10. There's your web application security checklist, right? That's what I would start with. The fundamental security checklist, OWASP top 10. Look, we can continue the soapbox. Junior role, enterprise experience required. There's no accounting for people writing stupid job descriptions. If you're going to let people writing stupid job descriptions define your future, you're going to have a long and hard road in cybersecurity. If you let other people tell you, well, till you get enterprise experience, you can't be a junior pen tester, you're going to have a long road letting people tell you what to do in this industry if this is your mentality on why you can't go be a junior pen tester. Now, there is no accounting for the level of dumb job descriptions that we've all seen out there, and the industry is working hard to change it. But if you let this define you, if you let this define your future, don't do it. Don't do it. Where's the best place for a beginner to start learning pen testing or ethical hacking? Again, I'll say it for those in the back, and you can go favorite the YouTube short that I put out there on this one, right? Do the free stuff first. The best place for a beginner to start learning pen testing is to go to INE and sign up for Pen Tester Student, because it is 100% free. Go to YouTube, go to all the different content creators that are out there and learn all of their free stuff from all of their free videos. Do the free stuff first. Go to the Capture the Flags. Go do Capture the Flags. Go do Hack the Box. Go do Try Hack Me. Go do all the hands-on labs. There is so many great places for you to do free stuff. Advent of Cyber, I just saw California say it. Advent of Cyber is going on right now. It is 25 days, 25 free hacking labs that you can do every day for the next 25 days. You can do the last 2 years of Advent of Cyber, right? So that's 50 labs, 75 labs by the end of this month that you could do totally for free as a beginner pen tester and ethical hacker. Go do the free stuff first. If you had to choose on Advent event this year, Try Hack Me or Hack the Box. I mean, I'm doing Hack the Box, or excuse me, I'm doing Try Hack Me's this year. Ben asked me to do 2 rooms for Try Hack Me, so I'm gonna do Try Hack Me's this year. Maybe I'll do Hack the Boxes next year, but I'm gonna give Try Hack Me's a chance this year and kind of see how it goes. But I mean, again, if time's not an issue, go do both. right? Listen, when it's free, the only thing that's stopping you from doing them both is time, right? But if you're learning, right, I think you get value in learning both of them, right? And so I'd encourage you to I mean, mix them up. Do Try Hack Me today. Do Hack the Boxes tomorrow. Like I said, I don't think that there's like a bad way to go, right? Quite honestly. Like, I think there's so much good happening out there. For a fellow bald guy, what do you use to shave your head? A razor. A razor. I've been shaving my head for like, what am I? I think I'm 42 now. I've been shaving my head for 20 plus years, right? And so like, it is natural for me to just grab a razor, throw some shaving cream on that, just like I do the face, and just go to town on it. Just go to town on it. When we talk about questions, folks, it's your time with me. We can talk about anything. We can talk about anything we want, including how Neil shaves his head. I don't use oil. I'll use oil when I get done shaving. I'll moisturize. So, real quick. Like, for those who like if we're gonna go down this topic of shaving head, right? Let's have a quick moment. Let's talk about Neil is serious about his skincare routine. Last night, Carmen and I were sitting on the couch, and I got out the Peely face mask, and I put a Peely face mask on my skin to clear out those pores, right? Because I had run for the last 2 days, and you know, all that sweat and everything on your skin, you know, it wrecks your skin, and I got to try to keep looking young, right? You know, I see BSEC in there making old guy jokes. I got a stream on Wednesday called Old Guy Wednesday, right? I can't be living up to that expectation that I'm old, right? Even though I got the little bit of gray hair happening right here. So yeah, I've got a face routine where I put like a mask on my face, a Peely mask, let that thing set for about 15-20 minutes, peel that sucker right on off, then I moisturize my skin, and then I put some lotion on it before I go to bed. I wake up in the morning, and then I go work out, and then I like clean my face, and then I put lotion on it in the morning. Oh yeah. Your boy's got a serious face routine that keeps this mug looking pretty day in and day out. Right? That stuff's no joke right there. Just saying. Got to be looking pretty. That's the key to, hey, you want to know key to good hacking? Looking good while you're doing it. All right. What do you think about working for vendors? Do you worry about being an expert in a small vendor product will limit your skill set? Arc Saber. That's a good question. I think it has the potential. I think it depends on what you do when you work for a vendor, right? Let's say you're working for Carbon Black and you're working on the sales engineering side. I think you have a potential to be very, very pigeonholed and siloed to only understanding the benefits of Carbon Black, right? But let's say that you're working in their SOC, in their managed SOC, or if you're working on their threat hunting team, or if you're working on their incident response team, right, where they respond to incidents that happen. You know, whenever people call into Carbon Black, I think you have an opportunity to learn how Carbon Black does incident response, but I think you have an opportunity to learn incident response as a whole. So I think it varies from vendor to vendor, and I think it varies from job to job that you're doing with that vendor. I would never shy anybody away from working with a vendor, but just like with consulting, when we have this conversation about consulting, and I talk to you all about spending, you know, some amount of time in consulting and then going back to industry, right? I mentioned that as a strategy because when you're in consulting, you have a tendency to think, well, look, why don't you just patch all your vulnerabilities, right? It makes complete and total sense. Patch all your vulnerabilities. That's exactly what you have to do, you know, to be awesome in this industry. But then you get back out into corporate, you get back out into industry, and you realize that that's just not reality, right? And so I do think that there are phases of cybersecurity that you need to experience other industry, other business types, so that you get the full gamut of what it's like in the real world of cyber. I think working at a vendor gives you one perspective. I wouldn't make a 20-year career out of working at one vendor, but I don't think spending 2 to 3 to 5 years working for a vendor, I don't think that that's a bad idea by any stretch of the imagination. How do you organize your time with learning cybersecurity? Since for me, it seems that there is not enough time to learn what I want. Some tips to better organize my studying. Take notes, right? Start taking notes. Understand, come to grips with the fact that you can't learn everything. You'll never learn everything in this industry. Ever, ever. Right? So come to grips with that first. The next thing that I would say is find what it is that drives you. Find what it is that's interesting to you. And then pull on that. Decide if you want to be 10 miles wide and 1 mile deep, or 1 mile wide and 10 miles deep, right? Decide the ratio of that you want to be, right? Because you're going to find yourself, you're going to burn yourself out, and you're going to find yourself overwhelmed if you try to do everything. So focus on what makes you happy. Chase the things that make you happy, and then build checklists and build mechanisms in place that keep you focused on becoming that expert in your craft in that area. How can I optimize my LinkedIn if I want to work remotely from another country? I don't think it's about optimizing your LinkedIn. I think you still use the LinkedIn techniques that we talked about numerous times before about making your LinkedIn look awesome. And then you just look for those role opportunities that allow you to do 100% remote without saying, oh, well, we may come back in the office in 2 to 5 years whenever COVID decides to go away, whatever the case is, right? It's just truly looking for those opportunities to work remotely. I don't think your location about where you work, I think that's becoming less and less of a conversation that you need to have with the employer when you start out. Is where you're located, where you're working, what are some of the things that are important for, from a job location perspective. I think that those questions are really going to start going away. There are so many great resources out there for red teaming. Can you suggest labs or resources for learning blue teaming? Yep, listen up very closely. INE, Blue Team Labs Online, Security Blue Team, cyberdefenders.org. Those 4 things are the only 4 resources that I think are out there focused really great on blue teaming as a whole. Remember, when I do things like that, you can use the clipping function inside of YouTube to clip that. You can save that clip. We have a channel inside of Discord called Stream Clips. You can drop that clip section in there. That way you can always reference it. You can always go back to it. Just because Mark Score added Differ Diva. Differ Diva is fantastic. When I think resources, and again, this is my perspective, I love Differ Diva. I think she's awesome. I've tried to ask her to come here on the stream. Several times. We're trying to see what we can do about that. But what I would say is that that's a collection of resources, and I do agree that it's a good collection of resources. When people ask Neil Bridges what a good resource is, Neil tries to point you towards hands-on resources. Right? Remember, put it in perspective. I believe wholeheartedly that you should go out there and you should put your hands on technology and you should put your hands on the things that you're trying to do so that you could be awesome. And then when you come to a stumbling block, right? When you come to a stumbling block about something cognitively that you don't know, right? Then you go look for the cognitive resources, and Differ Diva's got some fantastic cognitive resources. But when you understand asking a question like where do you start? Neil's always going to point you towards putting your hands on a keyboard somewhere else and starting there. But yeah, Differ Diva, 100%, 10 of 10 supports what she's doing out there. Absolutely. What about SANS? They are expensive too. What are your thoughts? Again, this is Neil Bridges' personal opinion, not reflective of my role at INE whatsoever. As a SANS instructor for 5 years, I spent a large amount of time in that ecosystem. We also pioneered having them in the military with a .mil class and things like that. And so, with that in mind, what do I think about SANS? I think that SANS was great when there were two choices, right? And we don't count CompTIA and we don't count EC Council, right? When there were two choices, right? It was SANS and OffSec. They were the choice that I would have told you 10, 15 years ago for cybersecurity. Today, there is no reason that any singular person out there should ever, out of their own pocket, pay for a single SANS course whatsoever. If your employer wants to pay for it, have fun all day long, right? But there is no reason that anybody out there, and again, you'll get more up-to-date training. You'll get better hands-on training. You'll get it from more relevant practitioners through any of the other means that are ever listed here on this chat or anywhere else. You'll get more of that anywhere else than you ever will from SANS. Ever will from SANS. RX100 says, how to deal with burnouts while learning and practicing hacking. This is going to shock a lot of people. You can tell that it's a soapbox morning because I'm almost out of tea. Like, I've been soapboxing a little too hard this morning. Putin is sad. I'm out of tea. All right. Here is the super secret way that you can deal with burnout while learning or practicing anything. Ready for it? Get ready. Take a break. Boom, mic drop. This is a mic, dropping it. Take a break. That's it. That's it. No, nothing in this world is worth you burning out. You will not be light years behind of anybody else because you took a break to avoid burnout. I promise you that. How to deal with burnout? Take a break. This is a good question from X71. Is on-premise servers still going to be a thing for organizations in the future? I think so. And we had I did an interview with Mike Pfeiffer on INE's Live. If you want to go to INE's channel, go to the INE Live that I did with Mike Pfeiffer. We talked about this. I think that there will always still need to be a need for on-premise servers in some way, shape, or fashion, right? Think about manufacturing lines, right? You will still have to have servers for manufacturing lines. Think about hospitals, right? You'll probably still need to have some level of server infrastructure on-prem for hospitals, right? SAP systems, right? You're still going to have a lot of on-prem support in the SAP environments, right? Regionalization issues, right? I just saw DevNo Zen talk about compliance functions like GDPR and HIPAA. Absolutely. I don't think that we will ever, I think we may see a reduction in on-premise server capability, but do I ever think it'll go away? Nah. Not in the near future. You see, I've broken into my backup energy drinks. Zevia 0-calorie energies, right? No sugar, no calories, right? All natural. That's my backup when I don't have any root, unfortunately. I'll be bouncing off the walls when I get off of this one. Go record some videos. What's the best way to manage the time when learning skills in red teaming and blue teaming? Should we focus on one side only? I think we're to the point now, right? And I say this frequently, right? Where a good blue teamer knows red team techniques. A good red teamer knows good blue teamer techniques, right? If you look at some of the really, like, I'll use Fockets as an example, right? Fockets, who's been a longtime supporter of the stream, good friend of mine for a number of years. He worked for me. He was one of my incident responders and threat hunters. you know, that is a prime case of an individual who has made it a point to understand heavily the red teaming side of things, because he understands it makes him a better threat hunter, right? And I think that the good red teamers, they understand what blue teamers are looking for, right? They understand what blue teamers are looking for so that they know how to listen, and this is going to shock a lot of people, so that they understand how to better test the blue team controls, because that's what red teaming is, right? That's what red teaming is about testing the blue team controls in place. So I think everybody should know it. Just because I saw this one, I'll push this one back to the OSCP one. Just dropped the importance of buffer overflows on their exam. Do you think this is still crucial to understand? No. I've said it for years. I've said it ever since I took OSCP, right? Never in the 25 plus years that I've doing pen testing and hacking have I ever wrote a report or written my own buffer overflow that allowed me to do a pen test. Is it cool stuff to learn? Yeah. I've done numerous exploit development classes. I know how to exploit ROP. I know how to exploit use after free vulnerabilities. I've written 0 days. I've got 1 0 day to my name, right? And so, like, do I think it's cool? Yeah, that stuff is hella fun to learn. You'll never use that stuff in a million years on a pen test. You'll never use that in a million years on a pen test. Never use that stuff in a million years on a pen test. This is cute. I like this. This is a unique question. How would you recommend to build in cloud to show cybersecurity and cloud knowledge at the same time? Fantastic question. I would start with just going to AWS and start building something that you want to build. You want to build a website? Go build a website, even if it's a Bootstrap website, a WordPress website, something like that, and go put it behind a WAF, right? I could tell you because when we went to go build the cybersecurity.tv website, cybersecurity.tv website, I had been used to doing it in DigitalOcean for years, right? I'd been used to doing that type of stuff in DigitalOcean, and I went to go do it in AWS, and I was vastly surprised at how different it was, right? And so, like, I absolutely think just going out and doing it, and then using the cloud as an actual, home lab setup, I think that that's how you do it. And then, of course, document it, right? The other thing that I can't harp on enough, right? Document. Write an article on LinkedIn. Write a blog on a blog post, right? Write a script that you put up on GitHub, right? Do a video on YouTube. Do it, and then produce some content. Produce some content somewhere to show that you've done it. Hey, look, everybody, we found the 4th person in the world using Google Cloud. Giving you shit, X71. In all fairness, should you use Google Cloud? Everybody should be familiar with Google Cloud. It's probably cheaper than AWS and Azure, right? But if you're looking specifically to the question before, which was how do you show cloud security and cybersecurity, or cloud skills as well as cybersecurity, most of the people that you're going to be working with are going to be either in Azure or AWS, because those do have the most prominent market share that's out there. So if you don't care specifically about having the AWS knowledge or the Azure knowledge, sure, you can go to Google Cloud from a price perspective, but imagine what it's like to add to your resume that you have done cloud cybersecurity in Azure or in AWS, which is far and away more of the market dominance than anything else. All right, so it looks like Jerry's in chat, which means that his stream has ended. Want to thank Jerry for bringing his audience on over to with a hacker. If you haven't seen, Jerry's starting a hot takes Friday morning stream. It started a little later than usual this morning, but I think, Jerry, keep me honest, I think he's wanting to do it kind of ahead of Tea with a Hacker. So you'd go listen to Jerry give his threat intel brief on a Friday morning, and then you come on over and see me on Tea with a Hacker after that. So I want to thank Jerry for being, you know, respectful of our stream times and being supportive of you know, bringing his audience over to see us. And so with that being said, we are going to go ahead and kick off the giveaway for this morning. Now that we've got everybody over from Jerry's stream, we are going to be giving away. We're going to pick 3 winners for Adrian Cantrell's All the Things, which is his cloud training. So again, we've seen a lot of stuff here on cloud this morning. We talked a ton about cloud ad nauseum in the past. Right. And so obviously cloud is here to stay. Everybody here, if you are in cybersecurity or not, or anything else, it doesn't matter. You should be understanding cloud. And so we're going to pick 3 winners to receive Adrian Cantrell's All the Things. Now, of note, listen to me. Listen very, very closely. Listen very, very closely. I say that and I'm getting DM'd. Oh, okay. There we go. Sorry, I had to respond to a DM real quick. So real quick on giveaways, you must be in Discord. Okay. And then you'll message Josh Mason when I call your name and you'll get your voucher. Okay. So if you're not in Discord while the giveaway is running, that is your time to get into Discord. And only drop that exclamation point raffle once. I promise. Streamlabs might be slow. Like BSEC's slow for an old guy. Streamlabs is slower than BSEC, okay? So BSEC may be a little bit delayed in recognizing that you hit that exclamation point raffle, but I promise you, unlike BSEC, Streamlabs is paying attention and does see it. Okay? I promise. Only hit it once. Let's see here. We got about 3 pages worth of questions. I'm going to see if I can pick a couple. Speaking of BSEC, since we picked on BSEC a little bit, BSEC asked his favorite question, right? How relevant is it to learn to understand the business side of things? Incredibly important. That's why we talk about it here on this stream, in addition to everything else that we talk about, right? Return on investment is critically important, right? If you can't articulate, listen, we've said it before. We've had Alyssa Knight on this stream, right? And we've talked about it with her. The CISO, the board of directors, the CFO, they don't give a crap about your report. They don't give a crap about you exporting or exploiting your Active Directory server. They could give a flip less. Right? If you can't turn that into a business conversation and explain why that's important, you are a useless pen tester. Let me say that again. If you can't explain why your exploit matters, if you can't explain why you exploiting the Active Directory server matters, if you can't explain it in a way that the business can understand it, you're not an effective pen tester. Sorry to crush some feelings, but that is reality. You may impress all your friends at a party about dumping 500,000 user IDs out of an Active Directory out of an Active Directory server. You might be that cool kid at the party, but the CFO is not going to care, and you're not going to get funding. You're probably not going to get a pay raise. You may not even get any more pen testing done. That's the reality of business. And on that follow-up, fantastic question from Saref. Can you please point out to resources on the business side of red teaming, charging, making red teaming packages, etc.? Do I get paid if I fail to hack any machine? Oh, you're actually talking about running a red teaming business. There's a lot to unpack there. Let me see if I can give you a couple more. Do I get paid if I fail to hack any machine? You get paid based on the statement of work that you put forth in front of a client, right? You get paid based on the statement of work you put forth in front of a client, right? Again, if you fail to hack any machine, and this is what trips up a lot of pen testers, right? Because I know what you're going to do to yourself. You're going to be like, oh my God, do I suck as a pen tester? Oh my God, I failed to hack any machine. Did it ever occur to you that maybe they just got really good controls? And that is okay. And this is what I'm talking about, right? When we talk about providing business value, your report should say why you didn't hack into any machines. And it should say so in a business sense that allows the business to understand that they paid you for your expertise in explaining to them what their risk posture is because you were unable to exploit any of the in-scope systems. Right? And so that's the thing that I want you to remember, right? This is why the business context is so important. So important. All right, looks like the raffle is closed. I'll give a couple people, a few more minutes to hit that exclamation point Discord to get access to the Discord server if you need to. Remember, listen, and again, I'll remind a couple people of a couple of the rules, right? Let's talk really quick about giveaways, right? And let's have a heart-to-heart conversation before we announce the giveaways for the raffle, right? I was really disappointed on Monday's giveaway, right? So if you saw, we had Ben Spring from Try Hack Me on the stream on Monday, and we gave away some huge prizes from Try Hack Me on Monday, right? We gave away 4 winners who won 12-month vouchers to Try Hack Me, and we gave away a 24-month Try Hack Me voucher as well. And then we had somebody try to cheat on claiming their prize. Kid you not, we had somebody message Carmen claiming to be the winner when they were clearly not the winner and made a big deal about how they needed to be the winner when they weren't the winner. And then after they messaged her, they tried to change their name in Discord to match the winner's name to claim the prize. I want everybody to understand something really quick, right? And I'm dead serious on this. We love to do giveaways. Like, you can always come here and you can always get giveaways from our stream, right? When we talk to partners, we explicitly talk to partners to make sure that they are providing value to the stream, to you as the community. Right? Now, we could do things like only Narwhal Prime members can enter into giveaways. We can do things like only basic mentees can enter into giveaways. We could really gatekeep the giveaways, right? If we really, really wanted to. We choose not to because we want this to be incredibly inclusive for everybody who participates and comes to this stream. We put in a ton of effort to make sure that everybody gets something from this stream. Let this be a warning, right? Let this be a warning. I expect the community to police itself, and I expect the community to act with honor and integrity. And if the community can't do that, then we will be forced to do other ways to try to ensure the participation in the giveaways. Okay? I don't think it's too much to ask that everybody act with honor and integrity, especially you ethical hackers out there that want to embody the ethical sense of hacking. It is not ethical to change your name to the winner to get a training voucher, right? When you know that the very next week, like this week, we're going to be giving more training away. And if you tune in on Monday, we'll probably give something away on Monday. And if you tune in on Wednesday, we'll probably give something away on Wednesday too. If you hang out in Discord, you might get something for free. There is so much free that we give away on this stream that there is no need. Please, I beg you on behalf. Oh, we IP banned them. We IP banned them. We will instantly ban anybody that we catch acting in an unethical fashion. Right? We will ban you. We will make sure that if your name is on a list that you will never be seen on this stream or in this Discord ever again if we catch you doing stupid stuff like that. Please, for the benefit of everybody in this community, don't do that stuff. So now that I've rambled on and kind of talked about it, make sure you're in Discord. When I call your name, send Josh Mason a direct message, right? Don't anybody leave, because we've also had this happen where people don't message Josh, right? Or don't message any of the mods, right? And we have to re-roll, right? I encourage people not to leave because somebody may not claim their winnings. I also encourage people not to leave because I've got a mountain of stuff to give away, and if chat is lit, I oftentimes keep giving stuff away. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and pick, how many winners did we say, Josh? 3. We're picking 3 winners. Awesome. Okay, cool. We are picking 3 winners. So get ready. Drum roll, please. Picking 3 winners for today's All the Things from Adrian Cantrell. Alan Umayam, sorry for butchering your name. Please message Josh Mason. Jose Haynes, please message Josh Mason. And Twiddly Dumb, please message Josh Mason. And I'll answer some more questions while I wait for confirmation from Josh that everybody has claimed their prizes. Devnil Zen says, tips for handling material that's covered by NDA. Do you want to share some of the cool things you have learned with others in the community? So, again, let's be realistic about NDAs, right? Let's be realistic about NDAs, right? NDAs in most companies are there to prevent you from either disclosing client names or disclosing intellectual property, right? And so if you're like, I work at Microsoft and I saw the most elitist state-sponsored 0-day come across my desk, people are going to know that Microsoft saw some elitist 0-day that came across their desk. But that doesn't necessarily violate an NDA. And again, I'm not a lawyer. This isn't legal advice. I'd advise you to talk to a lawyer if you are interested in this, right? But remember, most NDAs are there to protect clients and intellectual property, right? And so if you were to say, I recently had an opportunity, and then again, I ran into this in the Air Force, right? When I was a SANS instructor, one of the things I had to quickly learn how to do was tell stories about the work that I was doing so that I can make it relevant to folks in the Air Force. But I had a top secret clearance. You know, I was under NDA from the NSA, right? I couldn't say, well, when I was in, Sirius Network the other day, I used this exploit and here's how I, exploited the Active Directory controller, right? You can't say I was here doing this, but what you can say is, in this engagement that I recently worked on, there was an opportunity for me to get exposed to this type of threat. And then you leave it very generic and you get into the technical details, right? Don't don't overemphasize the importance of NDAs. There is nothing you can talk about on the outside working for any private company that, as long as you're talking about the technical capabilities that don't divulge client data or intellectual property or whatever else is written inside of your NDA, so just because I saw this one just now, right? Silence is golden is a good saying. Not if you're trying to brand yourself. Listen, I am a huge fan on this stream, right? That if you're trying to get a job, and again, I would encourage anybody to go to my YouTube channel, check out my ultimate career hacking videos that I've got over there, where I talk about branding, right? Branding yourself. If you are trying to brand yourself in this industry, silence is not golden. Silence is not golden, right? And so I will always veer on the side that says you should go out there and you should do what it takes to brand yourself, and you should put forth the content that you need to make sure that you're known in the industry. So I don't necessarily subscribe to the silence is golden saying, because I think you need to be out there branding yourself. Let's see here. What else we got? Here's a good one. I like this one. I like the interpersonal questions as well, right? Neil, what personality traits do you think are essential when getting into the field? Keeping an open mind, integrity, right? Well, I want to talk about the fire in the belly that we talk about sometimes on the stream, right? Right? The fire in the belly isn't necessarily meant to be like you're 24/7 learning cyber, right? We're really talking about that passion that you have, right? And I think this is hard, right? I think everybody should be passionate about their work. I think you do the best work possible when you're passionate. I think you do the best work possible when you're passionate. When I look for people to hire, right? When I hire instructors, right? When I hired Josh Mason, right? You know what got me to encourage Josh to apply for an instructor? That fire in his belly, that passion that he has for this industry, right? Right. I think passion is important. When you are passionate about your work, you pour passion into the work that you do. And I think that that's what makes good quality work. Right. And so I saw somebody say fire in the belly does not equal taco or day after Taco Tuesday. That's definitely not the fire in the belly I'm talking about. I'm talking about that, you love what you do. You love what you do. And I just saw Mega Random Ryan say this. Don't be scared to fail, right? That passion in your belly does equate to not being afraid to fail, right? And it took me a while, right? It took me a while in this industry to get past my ego, to realize that it's okay to fail, that, I can't be awesome all the time, right? I've tipped over my share of boxes. If you're new to the stream, ask questions about my failures, right? If there's anything that you're like, Neil, have you ever tipped over a box? Neil, have you ever, screwed up talking to a CISO or a CEO, right? CFO, right? Whatever the case is. Have you ever done something stupid? Ask those questions, because I'll be more than happy to talk about failures, because I think it's the passion that you have for the industry that allows you to recognize that it is the failures, right, that make you awesome, as much as, to the comment that was made earlier, the legendary stuff, right? I don't think that there's any failure that I've had that didn't drive me closer to being who I am today. in a great way. So, ask those questions as much as those, as those goes. Other personality traits, and Mark I just saw Mark say this, and this is an incredibly important one. I love this one, right? Being fine with being wrong, right? There is nobody in this industry who is right 100% of the time at all. There's nobody in this industry who is right 100% of the time. Every company I've ever been in has had different challenges. Something that worked right at one company didn't work. I can't talk about one particular failure because it's still too new, too relevant, that it would probably be unethical for me to talk about. But I'll try to, again, to Dev's point about NDAs, I'll try to kind of, try to dance around it a little bit, right? Which is, I tried to bring one corporate mentality that I had from working at one Fortune 100 company to another company. And it didn't work. And I could have gritted my teeth and I could have been like, no, this is right. This is right. This is my way. This way worked over here in this scenario where all of this was perfect over here. This way works, so it has to work here too. I could have done that. I legitimately could have done that. Right? And I'd have been just as wrong then, right, for doing that as I was for making the decision in the first place. But the faster you admit that you're wrong and the faster you move past it, the better off everybody is in the long run. So fail hard, fail fast, and move on. And yes, Carmen is right 100% of the time. That is why she is Carmen. Carmen is like the cyber insecurity Chuck Norris. Like right had to ask karma if it needed to be right. That type of thing. Like that's probably the only person who's right 100% of the time. I did just get a message from the mod. Does look like all of our winners did reach out to Josh Mason, so I want to thank them very, very much for being responsive to the requirements to reach out to Josh for those giveaways. Congratulations to our winners for those three. Adrian Cantrell's All the Things. Want to thank Josh Mason, the Cyber Supply Drop, for providing giveaways for the Friday resupply as well. All right. A couple more questions here. Let's see what we got here. Which do you think is better to learn, AWS or Azure? If you only had to pick one, I'd pick AWS. Although that's a really hard choice. It's a super, super hard choice, right? I think that I view Azure and AWS side by side. Even though the market share clearly leans towards AWS, and I know we just had reInvent this week, AWS's annual conference, and I was listening to a lot of that stuff throughout the day as well. And so I think that there's I think AWS does a lot of cool stuff, but I wouldn't discount Azure by any stretch of the imagination. But I think if I only had to pick one, AWS. Jerry, good to see you as always in chat, sir. Hope you have a fantastic day. If you haven't already, I'm sure most of you have, make sure you go and subscribe over to Gerald Auger, Simply Cyber. He does a lot of great content over there as well. Good friend of mine. Have a good day, buddy. Let's see what else we got here. Love this one. At what point do you add blog, website to your resume, LinkedIn? Immediately. 5 articles immediately. I think if you're hearing my voice right now, you need to be out there producing content, right? Whether it's a blog, whether it's articles on LinkedIn, whether it's videos on YouTube, whether it's code on GitHub, right? If you're hearing my voice, you should be out there looking to do that right now, 100%. And so immediately is the answer. Also, as a reminder, if you go to cyberinsecurity.tv, Chris, remind me what the command is in chat to go to the resources page for the resume template. You will find that on the resume template, there is an explicit place that talks about your participation in additional content. And so I think that it is a critical grading criteria, which is why we've added it to the resume rubric. I think maybe it was ! resume rubric, something like that. I don't know if Chris is still in chat, but there is a resources page to do that. Are you on Twitch, Neil, or strictly on YouTube now? We are strictly on YouTube now. Strictly on YouTube now. Long story behind that one. Long story behind that one. Chris Frazier just dropped the link for the resume rubric. That's the one I'm talking about. There is an explicit section in there talking about the value of doing your own content. Web3 impact on hackers. I don't want to talk about just the impact on hackers, right? I don't want to talk about just the impact on hackers. I want to talk about the impact on cybersecurity. I want to talk about the impact on everything that everybody's doing in this industry, right? If you're not paying attention, to Web 3.0, it's just like not paying attention to cloud, right? Listen, one of the things that I think frustrates me, let's talk really quick about something that frustrates me. We have a really bad tendency in this industry to say that we only care about the cool stuff, but we don't actually say that out loud, right? We don't actually say, well, we only care about cool stuff. Instead, what we say is, well, I don't care about NFTs because they're a Ponzi scheme or because they're for money laundering, or that's just stupid. Who pays $50 million for a pixel, right? When I can just right click and save it, right? We have a really bad tendency to pass judgment on things like that before we understand that the conversation about NFTs isn't about pixels being sold for $50 million. It's about Web 3.0. Let me say that again. Right? The conversation about NFTs, when I gave my NFT conversation a few weeks ago and talked about how interested I was in NFTs, it wasn't about pixels being sold for $50 million. It was about Web 3.0. Right? When I talk about, hey, I'm interested in exploring Odyssey, right, and seeing how, a cyber insecurity Odyssey channel would look like. It's not because I'm interested in, Odyssey being a better platform than YouTube. It's because I'm interested to see what Web 3.0 looks like where there's an alternative to YouTube and what that happens to be. Right? And so when we talk about Web 3.0, we need to stop thinking about these things that piss us off about Web 3.0, like NFTs, right? Being sold for $50 million, right? You could be mad about that all you want, right? But if you're not paying attention to the metaverse, right? Because you think it's some Facebook thing and you're like, screw Facebook. Mark Zuckerberg's the devil. He's the devil, right? Screw the metaverse. If you're thinking NFTs are about pixels being sold for $50 million, right? Then you're behind. You're behind because you don't understand the technology, because you don't understand what it means for the future. And you might as well be one of those people back in the 90s who was bashing on the internet because they didn't understand it. Right? Because that's what it is. If you're not thinking about what the Web 3.0 means for us in cybersecurity because you think that Web 3.0 is about $50 million pixels, you're behind. And so to your original question, right, slightly modified impact on hackers, I'm excited about Web 3.0. I make no qualms, right, that I'm exploring a lot of the NFT technology, right? I have talked about, having a cyber insecurity in the metaverse, right? I've talked about, putting some cyber insecurity content on Odyssey, right? And I've talked about that from a way to, because much like you all, right, I need to do things. I need to do things to understand it, right? Reading is okay for me, like becomes a big shocker. Like Neil doesn't read a whole lot. Neil does not read a whole lot, but I'll put my hands on stuff and I'll play with technology and I'll tinker, and that is how I learn, right? And so when we talk about Web 3.0 and I start talking about, I got this Oculus down here that I know Beard and Dev are like, Neil, when are you going to set up the Oculus, right? Like, yeah, I'll get to it, right? Talk about putting an Oculus there, putting a cyber insecurity out there in the metaverse and seeing what that's like, because how I play with it is how I learn how to hack it. When you understand how the machine works, when you understand how the machine is put together, it makes it easier to figure out how to hack it. It makes it easier to figure out how to defend it. It makes it easier to figure out how to protect it, right? And so if you're interested in Web 3.0, I suggest you put away your biases, you stop bashing on $50 million NFTs, and you go out there and you figure out about the technology. You go out and you learn what people are trying to do with it. You go and you learn about utilization tokens, right? Utility tokens. You go learn about access tokens. You go learn about, protocols that allow you to verify integrity on the blockchain, right? You have to embrace the technologies, especially if you're trying to, and listen, I'm not saying that if you're new to cybersecurity, now here's the other side of that coin, right? Here's the other side of that coin. I don't need to understand ethical hacking, because if I wanted to go get an ethical hacker job, I could. And so I don't have to worry about sacrificing learning how to run Nmap or learning how to do Metasploit or learning how to do red teaming to go do Web 3.0, because there are no jobs out there right now that say, I'm looking for a Web 3.0 hacker, right? And so make sure that you're balancing your time appropriately, right? That says, is this important for your learning? Yes. But do you need it to get a job? No. I turned down an offer to do a blockchain hacking course. Transparency. Turned down an offer to do a blockchain hacking course. You know why? Because there's no research out there that talks about actual blockchain hacking. There are not enough researchers out there doing cutting edge blockchain hacking for there to be any innovative cybersecurity issues on the blockchain. I'm not talking about hacking exchanges. I'm not talking about hacking the computers that support the exchanges, hacking the computers that support blockchain. Actual hacking of the blockchain doesn't exist, right? And so there's a difference between understanding the things you need to learn to get a job and understanding technology so that you're not blindsided about it when it comes around the corner. And that's the difference. If you're out there and you're having to make a choice between Web 3.0 and getting your eJPT, you should get your eJPT every day. Every day, I'll tell you that. But if you got some downtime, or if you're burnout, or if you need to take a mental break from some studying, and you're like, hey, I should really check in on this Web 3.0 thing and figure out what's going on with it, that's the right time. If you're mid-stage in your career, if you're late stage in your career, and you're looking for something awesome to learn, I think Web 3.0 is something awesome to learn. So, happy to talk about that more in depth, but that's kind of my general feeling on that one. Awesome. Well, I think that's probably pretty good for today. We've been at it for an hour and a half. I appreciate everybody tuning in for this morning's Tea with a Hacker. Make sure you're in Discord. I am going to update the schedule. I've been a little bit lax since I did get back from vacation last week. I'll update the schedule with what we're going to expect in December from a stream perspective. I realized, transparency, I realized that we missed November's resume review stream. That's on me. That's on me. So I will be looking to schedule that in December for Christmas. We will look to try to cover down on everything that happened in November, everybody's resumes in November that's in the channel, and the resumes in December. So make sure that you do have your resume inside of the resume review channel on Discord. I apologize to everybody who I'm late on scheduling your one-on-ones. Coming back from holidays, going to try to cram that in before the next round of holidays at the end of December. Holidays are always rough. I warned you all that holidays were going to be rough. It's the holidays, man. It's the holidays. With that being said, do make sure you check out Advent of Cyber from Try Hack Me. I'll be doing days 12 and day 17. I'm doing the cloud security one and the network security one on that one. Do make sure you hit those exclamation point socials. Do make sure you are following me on my Twitter, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram. I do post up Q&As on Instagram. Opportunity to get your questions asked outside of stream times, to do things like that. So with that being said, hope everybody has a fantastic day. If you're in the US time zone, hope you have a fantastic evening and great start of your weekend. And listen, whether you're on the red side or whether you're on the blue side, please keep learning, and I'll see y'all next time.